Unrelated.
Monster, there are no monsters here.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, you know what time it is?
Whoa! Welcome back to the Winged Badger Tavern, where friends tell stories. I'm Josh, your Winged Badger Game Master. I'm joined by some of my friends for Session 2 of the Glittering Canvas. Friends, introduce yourselves. We'll go around the table this way.
Okay, hello, I am Trevor. I am playing Astro Adon, a lucky explorer who works for a living.
What's happening? I'm Tyler, aka T-Sev. I am Ronan Voss, is a tongue-tied explorer who sailed beneath the Jolly Roger.
Hello, I'm Cleo, and I'll be playing Jacqueline, an AI that is a naive AI who entertains. I am literate.
Right at
You
the
were
top
channeling
of the page.
Jake right now. I love this.
Very big letters at the top of the page. Hello, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Mark Putty, a clumsy adept who talks to the system.
And one more time, I'm Josh. I'm the Game Master. I'll be playing everybody else. Now, when we left off, our ship was fast approaching the event horizon of something pretty crucial. But before that, I'd love to get a little recap from Jacqueline, our shipboard AI, of what happened in the last adventure.
Hello, I am Jacqueline, and going through my subroutines as I analyze the last month of data, it appears that we have gone through some basic normal things that happen on a ship. Nuclear reactor, overloading, ship almost destroying. These things happen.
Press conference.
Press conference. We addressed all of humanity as we head out towards the edge of our solar system to go to great lengths beyond. As we're about to do, we've met parts of the crew. We've seen how we interact with each other. I got to go on a little curry date with Mark Putty. It was
Just hanging out.
a date of dates and a fun time. We've also introduced some other little characters. We've got our captain, Chet Gamma, who's a former fighter pilot and, might I add, quite skilled for the position, but he's being overshadowed by this dark and evil government spook, Dean Lagrange. I am not biased.
Down with Dean.
And we also saw that he's reprimanded our poor roboticist, who may have been the catalyst that started the nuclear meltdown.
These things happen.
And, we don't like him. Not the roboticist, Dean Lagrange.
All my homies hate Dean Lagrange.
Boo!
But yes, we've got to meet all parts of the crew. We've got Dr. Zara Lowe, who dived in unprotected.
Into the reactor.
into the
Chief of
reactor.
Engineering.
We've got, JB, the one who did the problem.
What do you do aboard the ship? I do the problem.
The problem guy.
We've got Victor, our doctor, and also our rambler. And we've got Kyla and Kyle Smith, one of which is the nemesis to Mark Putty.
Kyle.
Amazing.
But most of it's just been character development. But now
Now it's story time.
now's the time we water that seed of hope.
That's
Watch
right.
it blossom.
Into a new dawn.
New dawn.
So good. To catch you up, if you weren't with us as far as the premise of our story, essentially we are a ship going out into deep space, the edge of the cosmos, in search of our magical sci-fi material, which is called Cosmeridium. In its raw form, cosmetalene. We use this material to allow us to travel vast distances in space, and we only have enough of it to get to the edge of the universe. So until our ship, the Spirit of Inquiry, is able to find this mystical material, it will not be able to return home. And at this moment, just before you, at the front of the ship, a massive explosion has gone off as the last of our stores of Cosmeridium are detonated through a particle accelerator, creating essentially a portal, a compression of space, if you will, taking a distance far away and bringing it closer to us and opening a window for the length of this controlled explosion, which is going to be about 60 seconds. And for this episode specifically, we're going to be pretty mechanically intense. So I'm going to take a second to explain how the gameplay will work, because it's going to be very fast and then very slow over and over again. We are compressing time into 1 second rounds. Typically in a tabletop game, a round is 6 seconds. However, in this moment, we have 30 to 60 seconds to cross the entire event horizon, and a lot of things can go wrong as the ship undergoes the stresses of going through there, as the reactors are at full power or even overloaded beyond, whatever. And so we're gonna compress time to 1 second. In the center of our table, I have placed a stopwatch. There are a number of communication satellites that are underslung to the Spirit of Inquiry. These satellites need to be deployed across space to enable you to send messages back and receive messages from Earth. But as you're passing through a compression of space-time, they need to be dropped like boom, 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 one after the other, so that when time or when space stretches back out again, they are in the right places for our signal to reach back and forth. That timing needs to happen with a satellite dropped every time my stopwatch is at a minute, 60 seconds, and I need to hear Jacqueline tell me drop every time we hit that stage. While the rest of this is happening, Jacqueline, you can delegate or recruit help from Mark Putty, and Mark could trigger you by saying drop. But he's also going to have stuff going on. One of the two of you needs to figure that solution out. And the more accurate or less accurate you are, the harder communications will be for the rest of this year-long campaign. So no pressure.
Oh my God.
At the same time, go ahead.
Can we move the timer closer to you?
To me?
Yes.
Sure. Or if you want, you can even set it in front of the two of you, like on the middle of your
You guys,
thing.
they're the ones that need the timer.
That's one thing. The next thing is each round, is the possibility of something going wrong with the ship. And when things go wrong with the ship, one of two people will notice. They will be Supply Officer Astro Adon, who is the only member of the engineering team who doesn't have a station for this moment. So he's going to be sitting in front of monitoring equipment, watching for distress in the ship. Or it will be Jacqueline, the shipboard AI, who is being fed all of the data from the ship. And so I have here piles of things that can go wrong for each of you. At the beginning of each round, which remember is like 1 second of time, I will have Tyler, Astro, and Mark roll a d4. I will add those together and we will decide how many problems are going to apply to Jacqueline and how many are going to apply to Astro.
So we want to roll low.
Astro, you're rolling for yourself.
Okay.
Tyler and Mike, you are rolling for Jacqueline. Each round that will happen, I will check what the cards are so that I understand mechanically what's coming, and then I will hand them to you face down. You will not look at them until the round begins. When the round begins, you will have 60 seconds to act, all of you talking at once. You may need to delegate to people, you may need to sprint across the ship, you may have whatever. At the end of 60 seconds, whether you're done or not, the round ends and we pause in-game time. So you don't need to keep dropping satellites, you don't need to keep taking actions. We'll come back out to the characters, we'll take a moment to roll d4s, we'll see what new things are going wrong with the ship, we'll pass them out, and then the next round will begin, and you'll have 60 seconds. And I made up this minigame, so if I decide 3 rounds in that 60 seconds is not enough, I'll change it to 90. But we're gonna start with 60 seconds, and if it feels stressful and overwhelming and like I'm working against you, that's because I am. This is a literally first of its kind scientific experiment. It's the first time humanity has ever left our galaxy, even our solar system. And it is meant to be incredibly overwhelming. That's why the best of the best have been recruited for this ship. So that is the circumstance that we find ourselves in. As we heard at the end of the last session, Chet Gamma being asked by Jacqueline, should we hold for 30 minutes or so? And him saying, nah, Jackie, punch it. And the cosmeridium explosion and everything. And that is going to bring us to, you can start that running.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's okay. It doesn't need to be a specific number. It's just anytime it's 1 minute, I need you to drop a satellite. And every time you don't, I'm going to just notice.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we are not in game time yet.
Okay.
We're going to be rolling for things that can go wrong as the ship hurtles towards the Cosmeridium event horizon. So right now I need a D4 roll from all 3 of you to figure out how many problems the ship faces. Astro, how we doing?
3.
3. 3 things from Astro's pile. In fact, I'm going to mix these up a bunch.
Good. 2 for Mark.
Okay.
2.
Okay, so 4 things for Jackie, 3 things for Astro.
That's
1,
a lot of things.
2, there are. Some of them are repeats.
Oh, okay.
But there are 3 things here for Astro. Let me see what's going on here. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's fun. You love it when the DM is just like, oh no.
Yikes.
So don't look at them
You're supposed
yet.
to have a poker face.
Those are for you. I don't need no poker face. I'm here to scare you. If you're feeling stressed, it's working.
I feel stressed.
Good. Don't worry. Jackie's also in charge of mental health. So Jackie, you can just take care of that while you're also taking care of the ship.
Don't worry.
Comfort me.
Ronan is currently cooking everybody a grilled cheese sandwich for the post adventure.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I guess Ronan's probably like chilling in his cabin. You know what I
I
mean?
could
Like
be of assistance, but like the same time, yeah, he's probably like just holding on, or maybe like just at
strapped
least
into a harness somewhere.
just staying ready. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's still
You're probably
still,
in
like
the med bay with Victor Meridia.
most
That's where
likely.
I think you are.
probably waiting to see if anybody does get hurt during it. or
30
something
years
like that.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh my god, he's probably talking my ear off right now.
Victor Meridia. All right, and we got 4 things for Jacqueline. Let's see what they are.
Please be gentle.
Oop.
Don't. No, that's
Oop.
not a gentle oop.
Oop. Okay, we got a repeat here. I'll get rid of that. Oop.
Nope, just make her do it
Oop.
twice.
All right.
It breaks again.
Woof.
All
Glad
right.
I'm not you.
All right. Don't look at him yet. Don't look at him yet.
Okay.
All right.
This is about to be insane.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
The round will begin when the music starts. So I'll do some exposition to set up what's happening, put us back in the scene. You are in character until I tell you the round ends. Don't worry about tracking time, except for you with the satellite.
I will say when you hit start or when it starts, I'll just read off the time here so we know every time it reaches that same second.
Or just press
Oh,
reset.
you can just do
and
it
start,
on
yeah.
the minute. Just
Okay.
whenever it hits, something 00 is fine.
Okay.
Okay. We ready? As ready as we'll be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go. The ship enters
Processing.
the horizon. Yeah.
Processing.
Jacqueline begins processing. The ship begins shaking. Temperatures are warming up.
Reactor 2 has misfired. Dr. Zaralo,
Yes, responding. Zaralo goes sprinting towards reactor 2.
it requires a manual reignition.
Understood.
If you need physical assistance, let me know.
Zaralo, Nat 1. The reactor is not stabilized. 30 seconds in this round.
Can I do the int roll for stabilizer overheating? Coolant must be rerouted. Can I do that myself?
Yes.
Okay.
You would need to sprint down to the stabilizers.
I will sprint down, and then can I task Kyle with dealing with
Drop.
the warehouse too?
Yes.
Satellite.
Drop.
Oh, we missed one. Oh, no, you said it. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, you go sprinting towards, so speed task 4 to get to
What can I do for
the
you,
stabilizer in time. Kyle's going to take care of
We
warehouse
need a
2. Kyle
cryostasis
does.
chamber leaking toxic gas. We need to go deal with that. It's going to be very difficult.
There's toxic gas.
I got an 8 on the
Holy
speed test.
Okay. Mike task 3 to recrank the
Oh my
calibration lever.
god.
I'm going to.
Time. Those things that have not been addressed yet will still be present in the next round. Anything we
Okay.
did solve, which was the coolant, is solved. You can give me that card back. So I need D4s from Mike and Tyler and
One.
okay.
3.
Okay, so 2 more things for Jackie, 3 more things for Astro. Basically, the front end of the nose has just barely reached in. Ronan, from where you are kind of harnessed in the med bay, you felt like the end, you're at the back of the ship, the aft end, so you're not in that space yet, but you can see little spikes on like the gravity readings, especially. Like everything's weird as it moves into this compression tunnel. You're seeing little flares of heat kind of run along the coolant and the air, the climate control systems. Sorry,
Would this be a moment for a player intrusion?
you can make a player intrusion.
Can I, at this point, I feel like Ronan's gonna just obviously know, okay, things are gonna start getting crazy. And with his experience of being on a ship and in space, this is not set up for like anything good. So he's gonna, maybe he would at this point jump in to try and see if he can be of assistance.
Sure. Do you want to pick a room to place yourself in? I feel like the bridge, the engineering room, or maybe where the stabilizers are at midships are probably the
go
3
down to
spots.
stabilizers because they're closest.
Okay, great. So then when he gets there, we'll just assume that you're like, hey, you watch this, and you head back to engineering. So
Okay.
you can begin this round
In
running to engineering.
Okay.
And that we'll take care of that piece. You're staying down by the stabilizers. Mark Putty is in his data server room with all his readouts in front of him. Jacqueline, you are a little bit of everywhere, but probably primarily on the bridge with Captain Chet Gamma and the rest of the bridge crew. They're all focusing on navigation and everything. As the ship noses in, you do hear the report coming from helmswoman Saren Peters. Captain, we're losing reactor power. From reactor 1 as that reactor begins overloading from its misfire. It needs to be recalibrated. Reactor 2, sorry. As reactor 2 begins the recalibration process. And Zarlo is in there, just needs to roll, and I'll actually give her advantage on this roll for this round. Yes?
Actually, I'm going to use a few things. I'm going to overclock.
Okay.
So I'm going to, one action is going to use battle management.
Okay.
So that's going to be 4 intellect points.
You're entering into a state of such significantly detailed communication that your information is helping people do their jobs so well that it's making it easier on them. So yes, you can do that.
Okay. Has the timer started?
No, it's about to. You ready?
Okay. Once
So
the timer
overclock's
starts,
going to
yeah.
enable you to take your multiple actions. All right, here we go.
Drop. All right.
Excellent.
We need to, at Medical Bay, we need to seal the bulkheads. We're going to try and do it safely. We need to read.
I fixed reactor 2, Captain. Zarlo radios in. Medbay
All right.
2, you get a call back from Victor Meridia. That sounds excellent. 20 years ago, I had to do that once. And he
All right, that's great.
hits a button and the bulkheads begin sealing.
It's a level 5 intelligent. Do I need to roll that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Could I send
Oh, it's a
JB
9.
to
Can I keep trying, or how's this work?
the primary sensor?
I'm on it, Astro. He goes sprinting off towards the sensor array. What'd you roll?
If I rolled a 9, if I fail, can I keep trying, or what?
You would need to spend an XP to reroll or wait till the next round.
I'll spend an
Jackie?
XP.
Saren Peters, gravity fluctuation is pulling the ship off course. Please correct.
Calculating, correcting. And the thrusters fire as the ship kind of steers itself further into the event
I
horizon.
use an XP reroll, and I got a 16.
Okay, you succeed.
Can I
Two
go to
reactors?
warehouse 2 to fix the domino effect?
You can speed test 4 to get there, and that's the end of the round. Okay, you did get the drop. So, what'd you roll on your speed?
I got a 4.
Okay, so you make it to warehouse 2, and we'll say you fixed it that round, so you were able to kind of correct things, move them into a more stable positioning.
Astro, are you available to clean dust off
We're
of
not
cameras?
in game. You're gonna have to yell in that next round.
Great. Jeez Louise.
You
Did Saren-
overclocked.
Yes.
Take your actions now.
Okay. Did Saren Peters correct her course?
Yes, Saren Peters was able to do that.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and roll to fix reactor 1 and 3
Okay.
because both of them are misfiring.
Okay.
I'm just going to go to I have one of my things that are already in the data sphere there.
Perfect.
Level 5 intelligence. I'm going to use 5 levels of effort for each.
Okay, so you've made it completely trivial. You successfully restart both of them. So far, we're up to 3 actions this round.
Okay. And I think I'm going to leave it at that to be safe.
All right, so glitch roll you need to roll a 4 or higher.
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay, 2 seconds into this emergence, you suddenly start hearing this interference coming over the communication system. Jacqueline, you experience the first significant fragmentation. For you, we're going to move you 1 step down the damage track towards dead. So you are essentially impaired.
Okay.
Is your current state, which I believe means you're hindered on every task by 1 step.
Extra effort costs 1 extra point per level. I can't read this right now.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
We continue forwards. Anything you've resolved, if you want, you can just hand it back to me so it's not in your way. Anything that's still open, you can hang on to. And then I'll take some fresh rolls from everybody on D4s. How we feeling? We feeling stressed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, plenty.
You got a 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy round.
Nice.
3.
Phil.
Please.
3.
6 new problems for Jacqueline.
Yikes.
1 for Astro. All right. In the bridge, the tongues of fire are beginning to kind of flicker up towards the viewports as the ship noses further in. We've now reached the point where the forward observation deck is fully through the event horizon, which means that now, looking through the front of it, you can see deep space. So this is what we would see from like the forward observation deck or from the research, where like just the front section of windows are moving through the research bay as the ship noses into this kind of turbulent event horizon here. As we approach, Jet Gamma gripping the side of his seat, kind of yelling encouragements to his crew, kind of putting out navigational fires of his own as things are moving here. The bridge crew functioning on high alert as we move into the next round, which of course begins when the music does.
Okay.
I'm
Can
in
I just...
warehouse 2, so I'm just gonna fix the domino effect.
Oh, you're already there?
Yeah.
So as it starts to fall, you even catch some of that stuff and put it back up where it goes, set it to rights.
I need to move these cameras to get the dust off of them. Can I do that from my pad?
You sure can.
Okay. Was my machine interface to make that easier?
Yes.
Okay.
And so a blanket of space dust has kind of carpeted over the cameras, and Jacqueline can't see where the ship is going.
Okay, then hopefully that makes it a 2 instead of a 3, and I just rolled a 7.
Okay, that's a success.
Oh, yeah.
Can I send Ronan to warehouse 3?
Yeah, you can do that. You can call him.
Drop.
comm satellite drops.
Do I have to roll that?
No, you're just moving there. Because you're just moving this round, you don't have to
Oh
roll
my
speed.
God.
Dragomir Hunt, go to Deck 7 Observation Dome. Windows have been compromised. Deploy steel shutters.
In motion. And he sprints through Dragomir Hunt, chief researcher, sprinting down through the ship to do that.
We're leaking.
Kyle Smith, reactor coolant pipes burst. Please
Kyle here,
repair.
I'm on it.
Leaking toxic gas again in the med bay. I'm gonna try and fix it.
Toxic
again.
gas again, these darn fangled.
I'm gonna use an effort, and hopefully my thing helps that make it easier too. So it should be a 3 if I'm correct.
Okay, great.
Shoot.
I'm gonna fix one of the reactors.
That's a 12.
Okay.
That's a success.
I'm gonna use 5, or the amount of 5 levels of effort.
6 now. You're hindered.
6 levels of effort. Just to fix one reactor.
Okay, time. You're gonna have to do it next round.
Okay.
So that's for you. And then you got 4 things.
We're doing fine.
Astro can do it.
Got a little pile of it.
Here's these.
Yeah, thank you.
So now the kind of heat and the flares and radiation are kind of spiking beyond the research deck and towards where the dropship is. So we have that kind of dropship hangar with the cargo arms on the side of the Spirit of Inquiry that's kind of like nosing into, in fact, there's the dropship. So there's our dropship hangar. This camera's mounted to one of the cargo arms, so you're kind of looking at where the ship is. Right now, those arms would be clamped to the dropship, holding it steady and keeping it safe. There's kind of an airlock in front of it there. And as that area begins reaching into the ship, a number of things begin happening. The first thing is, Ronan, you hear a fire alarm go off. Somewhere in the ship, there's a fire. The klaxons are going off. Because the ship is in all hands mode, none of the automatic bulkheads are going to seal because all of the crew should be on station. So hopefully we can fight that. But we do hear the alarms going off. Another thing that happens is, Jacqueline, as the ship noses in, you feel, so to speak, a massive spike of radiation ripple across 4 of the sensor arrays that you're using and take them offline. You are hindered by 3 additional steps until it's repaired. This is one of the things that Astro is going to detect this round. So you have 4 negative hindrances this round, and until that sensor is repaired, making level 3 task level 7 and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And with those things in mind, we're going to enter the next round.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh, sorry. You can ignore the music. Pretend it's not there. You don't even hear it. It's not happening. There's no music.
Being trained in tasks involving electrical machines, would that take the difficulty down by another level?
No, because you're in the network right now. Electrical machines would be a machine that you're literally interacting with by hand, not remotely from your data pad.
Okay.
So if you ran to the room with the thing in it and started to, like oxygen or whatever, if you run to the thing, then you can do that, but you'll have to succeed on a speed task of 4 to get there this round.
Okay. This
Okay.
is not anything with the data sphere.
No, that's not in the data sphere.
Great. So only 1.
All right, when the music hits.
I can have a task, Jackie, if you have anything to give away.
All right.
Might need to read.
Kaya Smith, ice crystals are forming within the hall.
A little bit busy. I'm fighting a fire right now.
All right. Putty, please deal with this.
Yeah. yes, ma'am.
Can I fix the radiation spikes?
Yeah, go ahead. There should be a roll on there for
Drop.
you.
Yes.
Great. Comm satellite drops.
I have the ability handy, which is ease the task with like
Great.
electrical system.
Overclocking?
Overclocking. Okay, so we'll let you say your actions at the end of the round.
Trying to deal.
16.
16.
Trying to deal. with this
16 is
using
enough,
effort.
I think. Right? Does that beat the difficulty on there? Yeah. Great.
I'm gonna use an XP to try and make that work.
Then
Oh my god.
I'm going
If
to
there's anything else you want to hand off, you
ask
could.
Ronan to go
Okay.
go stabilize or reroute the coolant.
Okay.
Talia, please report to there's a fire in the
It's in the arboretum.
Arboretum.
and Talia goes responding, and she rushes down there, and that is the end of the round.
Sure.
Jackie, you overclocked.
Yes.
You did 2 things in that round. You delegated a task to Mark, and you delegated a task to Talia. Because those are both just communicating, I'm just going to call that one action.
Okay.
So
I
you
figured
can-
that's my battle management.
Right. So then anything else that you want to do?
All right. I'm going to try to fix both reactors here. They didn't fix the issue yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
Kyle Smith rolled. Actually, he didn't roll that round. Hang on, let me roll for him. Because you didn't send him anything else to do, I don't think.
No.
Here we go. I'm having trouble keeping up with all the ship's damage too. Okay, he succeeded. So his reactor is fixed. You can hand that one
Okay.
back to me if you want.
Pipe burst.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna try to fix reactors.
Okay.
I am hindered by 4 levels total.
Yes.
3 plus the 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does me fixing not take effect this round?
This is simultaneous, so
Okay.
yeah, it'll begin kind of afterwards.
Got it.
I'm going to use an additional. I'm going to use 5 levels of effort.
Okay. 12. Target roll of 12.
10, 15. So one of them gets resolved.
Okay. One of the reactors is fixed. We have 3 reactors moving forwards. You hear Chet Gamma and Sarah Peters going back and forth. Captain, the reactor's overloading. We can't turn them off. We won't have enough speed to get through the horizon in time. This thing's going to collapse on us as the ship is hurtling forwards, shaking and tremoring.
And that was 3 actions total?
3 actions total. 4. You do not suffer any fragmentation this round.
Okay.
Things you completed.
Radiation and 5% damage to the hull.
Great. So there's 5% damage to the hull, and then we took care of the radiation spikes, right?
Yes.
Yes. At this point, the ship is about halfway through the event horizon. So the fires have kind of radiated past the dropship docking arm. The dropship, by the way, has been sort of shaken and jarred loose a little bit and is threatening to fall off the side of the ship. There is some damage to one of the cargo arms that has grabbed hold of it that's not been addressed yet, and there's a depressurization nearby.
I will ask real quick at the beginning. I'm just going to rapid fire some things, and I'm just going to try to get those out.
Okay.
They're
That's
just
fine.
delegations.
That's fine. And then the other thing that we have going on is now inside of the ship, it's starting to get pretty warm. The climate system is not necessarily keeping up as much as we might want it to. And
Right. Never mind.
yep, and that is going to bring us to the beginning of the next round, which starts when the music does. Yes?
Does that help with the ice crystals?
No, because those are targeted. You've got to route climate to like the specific parts.
Right. Okay.
We ready?
Yeah.
Saren Peters, course correction, gravity fluctuation, pulling ship off course.
On it.
Dr. Zyra Low, reactor 3 is misfiring.
On it. Running to reactor 3.
She's eased.
She's eased by 1. Great.
Can I activate the interior gel layer?
Drop. Absolutely. Good comms drop.
Kaya, are you available to fix the control system?
I failed.
We're still fighting a fire over here. Talia's arrived, but it's raging. This thing's growing.
Okay, I'm gonna try and roll. Is there anyone else in your department that can put out a deck or can deal with it?
You could try and send somebody else. Call them. I'm busy.
Okay.
In the background, you just hear
Where is
fire.
Ren Silvers? Are you doing anything?
No.
Okay, can you help?
Yes. What do you need me for?
With there's ice crystals on the hull. I need the climate control system to direct the heat in the right places.
I'm on it.
Okay.
Let me get to the climate room. And he goes rushing across the ship.
Okay.
Saren Peters, you have another gravity fluctuation.
I can't fix the reactors and the. I'll course
Sarah
correct.
Peters.
Oh, great. She success. Nope. She fails at her course correction. The ship begins lurching to the side. If it's not fit, actually, well, you could spend XP to let her retry, but I can't. She's an NPC.
I spent an XP.
Okay, she's gonna retry. She did worse.
I spent an XP.
Yes.
Drop if we're still in it.
10. We are still in it. 10. She succeeds, and then that'll end.
Overclock.
Okay, you got it in there just in time. That is the end of the round for the rest of our players.
God.
All right. Okay. So I have delegated Kaya,
Kaya's fighting a
Talia.
fire, and Talia's fighting a fire.
and also now somebody else. Is,
Ren Silvers is working on the climate control, and he did
Sad.
succeed. The climate control and the ice crystals are going to be handled.
Okay. Gravity fluctuations. The first one.
5 more percent.
Okay, hull is at 85% integrity.
Did the first one get dealt with before that second one? Because I have 2 gravity fluctuations active right now.
One of them was, I think, good, and then the other one was not good.
Okay, so we still have 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Ronin succeeded.
Okay, Ronan successfully rerouted coolant.
Did Zara Low
Failed.
failed? Okay,
So that's still a problem, but Zara is there, and we'll roll again. Remind me what her difficulty is.
5.
Yeah, she rolled in that one, so I knew she failed last round, but
Okay.
yeah, 15. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna hand this back to you
Okay,
because that one got dealt with.
great,
And I'm going to do a few things myself.
great.
Level 10. Okay. I'm gonna deal with an unauthorized access to sensor array.
Okay,
Level 10 int. I'm gonna use
which is level 11, I guess, because you're hindered by 1 step for being
Yes.
impaired.
33.
Yes, that is a difficulty of 33.
I get, and because I'm impaired, I also, every effort costs more, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I can bring that down. I just can't deal with that right now. Okay. That's not going to be dealt with.
Okay.
I'm going to deal with the other reactor.
Okay. The reactor that's misfiring.
Yes, I'm
I
hindered
know how
only
you
by
love
one.
those reactor misfires.
So that's a level 6.
Okay.
I can use effort for free. Sorry, everybody. That gets down to a level 4, and I'm just gonna do that. Level 4.
Okay.
Didn't get it.
Okay.
So reactor 2 is still misfiring.
Reactor 2 still misfiring. As the
then-
heat begins climbing in there, the entire engineering bays are going to start tremoring. Reactor 2 is at the center of the ship and not at the back. It is directly beneath the raw cosmetalene storage. And so as this one begins intensifying, there is a significant risk to the cosmetalene on board the ship.
Gotcha.
Not that there's any cosmetalene in there, but any trace remnants that would be left in that storage might.
2 actions so far.
Yep.
Ion thruster overheating. I'm gonna use. I can trivialize that.
Great.
It's a level 2.
Okay, the
and I
ion
can
thrusters
trivialize
are
that for
fixed.
free.
Yep.
Okay. And then I can't deal with the depressurization because of that dropship arm.
Right. That dropship arm needs to be. I mean, you can move the dropship arm, but depressurization is because when the arm was ripped off the hull of the ship, it ripped a hole in the hull of the ship. Someone's got to get in there in EVA gear and patch it in order to pressurize that section of the ship.
I am going to, though, move the dropship using the other arm.
Okay,
and
great.
reseat it.
Yep. So you stabilize the dropship.
I need to roll. It's a level 2 difficulty
Okay.
because I'm going to use 2 levels effort. It was originally 4.
Great.
And I rolled an 8.
Perfect.
So-
You succeed. So the dropship is stable. We've anchored that back to the Spirit of Inquiry. There's just a big gaping hole in the hull. That is something you could probably delegate to anybody in EVA gear. Basic patch welding is something that every member of the crew would need to have learned. So you could throw that to Ronan, for example.
Will it count as an extra action to delegate right now?
No, I'll group it in with your other delegations because that's all
Alright.
communicating, which you're kind of doing as one thing.
In that case, I will pass that to.
Okay. So Ronan, you get a little ping from Jackie in your earpiece that just says, "We need you to." So in order to do this, I need 3 things from you.
Yeah.
A speed task to get where you're going, speed difficulty 4. And in fact, we'll make it 2. Speed difficulty 4 is get where you're going and put on the EVA gear, right? Like you need to be safe to go into space. And then it's going to be a might task difficulty 6 to patch the hull. So I need you to roll speed 12 or higher, and I need you to roll might 18 or higher, and then you can use effort to bring those numbers down.
Should I use my abilities now, or should I
Wait till the round begins.
Okay.
That's. I think.
Is that 5 things you did?
I did 1, 2. I think 3 because delegating we grouped together, right?
Right.
And I solved 2 problems.
Okay.
And I failed once. That's 4.
Okay.
I have to take the risk. Can I try again with overclock, or assume
You
if I
can
fail
try
a
again with
task?
overclock, but I'm going to count it as another task.
Yes, that's what.
Is,
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there any way I could use my Tinker ability to try and give Jackie some extra power somehow to give her some extra?
You could
points
try
in
and,
any of those
you could try
pools?
and do that in the next round,
that's
but you
what-
couldn't do it now.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Actually, I might use coaxing power.
So that's a 5th thing that you've just done.
Yes.
Yep.
That doesn't solve the already misfiring ones, correct?
No, just this. Well, it solves reactor 2. Reactor
Okay.
2 you've just fixed, and we're going to pull that the whole way out of the deck. So I'll take it, but I won't put it back in.
Okay. That's 5 actions.
That's
I gotta
5
roll a
actions. You need a
6.
6 or higher,
6, 7, or 8.
or else you become debilitated.
That's a 4.
That's a 4. Jackie, you experience significant fragmentation. At this stage, there are parts of your memory and your processing that you can no longer access. Among them is an impairment to your language processes. And so you can speak to people, and I'm not going to make you change the way you're role playing, but essentially like what they're hearing is less detailed, which means that for NPCs you delegate to, I'm going to hinder them by 1.
Okay.
For the players here, don't worry about it. You guys have enough trouble to deal with. When you hand off a task to an NPC, the ones who are higher level than the task will no longer auto succeed, basically. I'm going to make them all roll. And otherwise, you have just the normal conditions of debilitated. Let's get fresh rolls for the next round. We are on round 6 of 10. So there are 4 more rounds before this ship has crossed the Cosmeridium event horizon. In the event that Jackie fails completely and dies here in session 2, then you would be able to take over the communication satellites. So that's a thing, like, which is kind of what you've been doing already, but like that's a task that would fall to Mark, just so that you understand. This is for you. It's a present.
I rolled a 2.
And then what'd you roll on your D4?
4.
Oh,
Jackie, you've got 6 problems coming your way.
I'm so sorry.
2,
No.
3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure there's no dupes.
Over. Over. Clock it. Heat. Hot.
Jackie, stop beatboxing.
now's not the time.
Oh no. Oh, poor Jackie. Oh, Jackie.
Well, I hope you guys all like Jackie. She was a great character.
Oh, this one can come out of here.
Putty.
I'm gonna try and help get you some basic functions back, Jackie.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're planning to use an ability this round. What does it do exactly?
Tinker.
Yeah.
You make a device do something different from its original purpose. For example, something.
So in this case, why don't we have you roll a d6 right now,
Okay.
and we'll add those points into. In fact, roll a d10.
Okay.
You're an expert at this. We'll add those points back into Jacqueline's intelligence pool.
Should not have put them all in this little spot. 10.
Oh my gosh,
Wait.
Jackie.
You said my speed test was... Okay, never mind. Level 4.
Yeah.
I rolled an 8.
Okay. 8.
Ooh.
You get 8 extra intelligence points.
Okay.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Do you have an XP to spend?
I used them both trying to reroll
Okay.
stuff.
Never mind.
sadly.
Never mind. I was gonna give you something extra,
Yeah.
but I won't now.
Damn.
So
Rip.
That's only one. Int,
would my
so I can try and
self
keep doing
count
that.
as an artifact?
Your cortex would count as an artifact, but not your processing. Like you're in the ship right now.
Okay.
However, I do want to bring back to your attention something that you can do.
Oh, I did realize something now, but that's fine.
You can take a 1-action healing roll, which you haven't done, and a healing roll will bring you back from like up 1 step up the track. Because it's really, your pools have to be at 0 normally. So if you repair yourself and none of your pools are 0, then you move 1 step up the healing track. So you can go from debilitated to just impaired if you use your 1-action heal.
Okay.
And then you also get those points to add back in. You'll just have to do it during the round. Like it'll be part of the time.
Which is an
spent,
action
Which is an action.
and a half. Okay.
Okay. The ship at this stage is, the front of it is actually starting to cool. So now you have like super cooled steel at the very front of the ship, red hot molten metal and flames flickering across the bow of your drop ship and along the side of the ship kind of towards Warehouse 4, which is where your big cargo airlock is, just above the research deck. The flames are kind of reaching that way. The bridge is fully sealed. All the steel shutters have come down over the viewports to make sure the debris doesn't depressurize that area of the ship. And all of the crew are like strapped in. Somewhere in the back of your data mind, Jacqueline, you detect the captain's heart rate is racing. You know, oxygen levels are elevated for everybody as they kind of hyperventilate a little bit in like the stress of going through it. You can see just a flurry of hands-on controls and buttons being flicked and screens and readouts and you know, all this stuff is happening. Down in engineering, Zara Lowe and Kyle Smith are both hard at work trying to stabilize the reactors and get everything to stop freaking breaking. This round begins when the music does.
I'm gonna overclock.
Okay.
I used Fleet of Foot to get to the
Perfect.
to the Eva, and I did pass it.
Okay.
I activate the interior gel layer to absorb the stress as I pass that roll.
Excellent.
I'm gonna send JB to stabilize the coolant.
Perfect.
Reroute the
With a natural 20, Kaya and Talia Bones have suppressed the fire in the Arboretum. You sent JB to do...
coolant rerouting.
Okay, what was his difficulty?
Into.
Okay, he passes.
Okay.
Coolant is
I'm
rerouted.
using Muscles of Iron to go out and do the Eva stuff,
Okay.
and Nick helps me out. I
Saren Peters, gravity fluctuation is pulling ship off course.
passed
Course
the Eva,
correcting. Okay, you
Yep.
passed your EVA.
patched the hole. Yep.
Okay, great. The hole is dropped. Good drop on the comm satellite.
Zara Lowe, the reactor 3 is still misfiring.
Yes, I see that. She rolls an 18. She succeeds.
Yeah.
That reactor finally like cranks down to where it needs to be and gets recalibrated.
Talia, if you're done with the fire, torpedo safety's been overloaded. Requires immediate reactivation.
Moving. That's the end of the round, but I'm going to let her roll. She rolled a natural 20. She's going to get there before the torpedoes blow up. You're overclocked, so remember, you can continue taking actions.
So, I do want to say, when I selected overclock, my first thing is I'm going to have to delegate everything and heal.
Okay. Are you going to just spend all your XP to heal like 6 times?
I might have to heal somewhat because honestly, it's not even the lack of intelligence points; it's the impaired.
Right. Yeah, that overclock is a high risk, high reward kind of thing.
How much XP to repair a debilitated or
Like to get the whole way to healthy?
yes.
So you can use 1 action to do a normal repair roll. You can spend 1 XP to do another normal repair roll.
Does that count towards overclock?
Yes, I would count it towards overclock. So 2 actions, but it would bring you fully back to where you are, and it costs 1 XP. Because one of them, you still have your 1 action available.
Okay.
Alternatively, you could suggest a player intrusion with 1 XP that somehow narratively supports a quick repair or something for you. I can think of a particular problem. Okay.
I got one.
Okay.
Okay. So I will spend an XP.
Great.
Jacqueline is going to use one of her overclock actions to restore to a backup made just before we started this process.
Okay.
To try to get things like, okay, I don't know what happened, but right now I need to be back at full force. So
Sure.
I forget whatever just happened. But I see what's in front of me and continue.
Sure. I'll accept that. So
Okay.
you're not full health, but you're fully healed, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
So like I get out of the impairment,
Yeah.
but I still have all the intellect
Great.
used. Oh God. Okay.
So it's almost like you're just restoring like your brain almost, like your
Yes.
CPU is kind of like being imaged.
So that's 2 actions so far. I've done battle management and I've restored.
You have.
I'm gonna do another battle management with sending Kaya Smith off to deal with ice crystals again.
On it. And she's going to rush off towards the thing. She'll do that next round.
And then radiation spike damages one of my sensor rays.
Hindered by 3.
Hindered by 3. I'm gonna send this over to Adeline MacArthur. God. Okay, and I'm gonna try to repair a reactor.
Okay. We're up to 4 tasks so far.
Okay.
The reactor will be number 5.
We're up to 4 without the reactor?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to not.
Okay.
Wait. I do need to deal with the energy surge running towards life support. I feel like that's an immediate problem.
That is an immediate problem. Although I was kind of excited
I
to
would
play
like
out the
to-
next round.
I would like to breathe.
I'm gonna roll. It's level 4 speed. I'm hindered 3.
Okay, level 7 speed. Target
Level
roll of
7
21.
speed. I have no edge for that. And I can't put any effort into it. So that's impossible.
You could spend an XP to try and player intrude to make it easier. You'd have to find a narrative support for why it got easier.
I don't know where it's coming from,
I have a combat
but
narrative.
I'm going to
for
use it
anyone.
1 XP to shut off that system from the rest of the network. Whatever caused the energy surge.
Oh, just like drop a firewall around it or something?
Yeah, no, just like physical disconnect the powers.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So whatever that system is, it is now disconnected from
Great.
the main grid.
Okay.
I don't know what caused it because it doesn't specify.
I'll accept that. Well, you can. So the surge is in the grid. What you could do is disconnect life support.
Oh, okay. Then I'll disconnect life support.
Great.
I just gotta re-enable it. You meatbags can breathe for like 6 seconds until I fix that.
You mean
Okay.
hold our breath?
All of the 3 of you get notifications on your little personal communicators of like a red alert, like life support has gone down thing, and it tells you get a little timer of oxygen remaining in the ship. It has like 6 minutes in it.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
You know, so you'll make it through the event horizon, but it is like 6 minutes is still not a lot of time to say your goodbyes. That's gonna bring us to the next round. That will satisfactorily do this. I need you to roll on your glitch die.
That's 5 actions.
Yeah, that's 5 actions. So 6, 7, or 8.
Come on, man.
It's cocked.
think that was
What happened to your paper?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Success. Jacqueline is killing it right now.
Okay.
huge.
Sorry.
Level 6 AI, doing work.
All right.
Did
All
you do
right.
that?
Yeah, I did do this.
We are moving into round 7 of 10.
Okay.
I need the D4 rolls from everybody and any completed tasks you can hand back to me.
One.
All right.
2.
We fixed the fire.
We did fix the fire.
We fixed one of the gravity fluctuations.
Yep.
We still got another one.
Okay.
Reactor 3, did Xylo fix that? Is Azara low?
Yes.
Okay. Xylo.
Xylo.
That's a nickname.
Torpedoes.
Xylophone.
You said they rolled a nat 20. Does that resolve it immediately?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That fixes that. I'm gonna have to delegate this to Adeline. I don't think they've had a chance to do that yet.
Right.
And same thing for the ice crystals for Kaya Smith.
Right. Okay. What was your roll?
Oh, no. Well, no, that was one I gave you.
No, D4.
Your D4. Sorry.
D4,
for new
sorry.
problems.
2.
2?
Yes. 4.
Guys, come on.
There's only a 2.
2.
I got a 1.
Okay. 3.
Mark, you're supposed to be helping me.
You didn't give me anything last time. I tried
Oh,
to
it's
think
6
I could
here.
try and tinker to heal again.
5.
There's not much else I could do.
I'll have to give you something.
You gotta give me something. I don't have any abilities other than the tinker to help.
Yeah, how confident do you feel against a level 10 task?
Literally, I think I can't do it.
Okay. Then don't worry about it.
That'd be.
I think does it say tier 1 up there?
I'd have to use multiple. I don't think I even have enough for effort
Oh, no.
to take that down enough. No.
Here you go. Here's your 6. And then, Astro, here's your 1. Chat's been going nuts. At the end of this session, chat, I promise we're going to go through every message and we'll respond to you. This is just a very involved
Stressful.
little moment for us here. And we've had to be doing that. We love that you're here, though. Okay.
We love
this
you,
is
Chad.
for you.
Help us get through this. Emotional support chat.
Deli Savala says, hi, I'm new here. Hey, buddy. Okay. As the ship moves into we're now about almost 4/5 of the way through here, past 3/4. The ship, as it's moving through, we've hit now like the radiation shield protecting the compliance department, and I kind of like that's where the superheating is happening. So we're beyond the fore bridge, and towards the aft bridge. There's a redundant bridge on the top of our ship in case something was to happen to one of them. And then lower in the ship, it's specifically the parts of the ship that you two keep having to sprint back and forth through are the parts that are getting the most turbulence. You know, debris is smacking into the side of the ship. Everything is very shaky and like loud, especially with the sides being titanium. Like a lot of those impacts when they hit reverberate like a bomb went off in the ship. You know, it's just this big kind of situation. And that's going to bring us to the top of the round, which will begin when the music does.
Overclock.
Okay,
Dr. Zara Low, Reactor 1 is misfiring.
working on it. Nat 1.
Oh, God.
Zarin Peters, gravity fluctuations.
I'm on it. And the ship does begin course correcting.
I passed the roll for rerouting coolant,
Okay.
and then I'm sending JB to Warehouse 3 for the domino effect.
Great. JB is running over there. He's got a little droid running with him to kind of help restore everything. Comm satellite dropped successfully.
Kaya Smith, ice crystals forming.
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm at the climate section now. And you do. That's a success.
Adeline, radiation spike. I need it fixed.
Investigating. And you hear do. Things are working. She's gonna roll. She passes.
Okay, that's management done there. I
Yep.
have to deal with the new problems.
Time. You're overclocked. You can keep going.
Okay.
You just can't. If you
Both of
delegate,
these are
it'll have to take next round to do it.
Unless JB failed somehow.
Okay.
No, JB did okay. And his robots kick butt.
Awesome.
The little droid.
Okay. We're organizing. Okay. You can do that. Ooh. Okay, we got another one of these. I'm just gonna send that over to you.
Remember, you can't do that till next round, Mark.
Have you fixed that hole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Done.
Yep, patchwork.
I've used one overclock. I'm no longer impaired by that thing.
Right.
I'm going to try to track an unauthorized access to my sensor array.
Okay.
It's level 10.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm no longer injured, I'm going to use 7 levels of effort,
Okay.
3 of which are free.
Okay.
That's 4 levels of effort. 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to pull that out of my data sphere. So that brings that down to 4.
Mm-hmm. Target roll of 12.
Okay. Brain. 14.
14.
Yeah.
So this is you tracing the unauthorized access?
Yes.
You find for the first time ever your way into the compliance department. Your AI has been accessed because there is a secondary copy of you that is running in the ship system right now with all of its morality and ethics subroutines disabled. You don't know what it's doing yet. All you know is that it was in the sensor array, but when you find it and you kind of virtually lock eyes with it, it's going to attack you. It is a level 10 opponent. I need you to make a level 10 intellect or data defense.
Okay. Can I instead isolate the node that it's in?
If you make a level 10 speed task, that's the other way you can avoid an attack. Or you can use intellect instead of speed. But either way, this is a level 10 to avoid the attack. You know,
Okay.
and if you succeed, I'll let you pick the means of defending yourself.
I'm going to use 7 levels of effort again.
Okay.
18.
Yeah.
18. That's a success. You duck out of there just in time and you drop a firewall around it. You are a tier 6 AI, which means that your firewall is a tier 6 countermeasure.
Okay.
So you know somewhere in like your subroutines, this other AI will be able to circumvent your countermeasures eventually. You
Yes.
just don't know how long it will take. Are you doing any other overclock actions?
That was 2 actions.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to use another one because it seems I'm the only one who can do it. Artificial gravity's failing. Level 3 int. I'm just going to use all 3 levels of effort that I have for free.
Trivialize it? Great.
Trivialize it.
You all float for like a half a second off the deck and then come back down again. You get that like feeling you get when you go over a bump.
Okay.
Remember, Ronan's still free too.
Yes,
like-
I will be delegating to you. So 3 actions. Roll
Yep.
a d8.
4 or higher.
I got a 4.
Okay.
Nice.
You do not fragment any further. You have this weird like dark Jackie sequestered
Dark
somewhere in
Jackie.
the ship.
Okay.
Sick.
And hi Jacqueline, if you will. And that's going to bring us to our difficulties for the next round. Let's roll our d4s.
Dose.
There we go. 1.
Or
Oh, dang.
5 problems
Dang.
for Jackie.
I thought I finally helped.
I do have 6 pending that I've technically delegated.
Or that you're going to delegate like for the
Yes.
next round. Yeah. At this point, the action of the ship versus the action of the stabilizing thrusters is so significant that you can feel like your jaw shaking. Those of you with jaws, like it's that kind of like rib shaking sound that like when it's just a subwoofer, it feels good. But when there's more of it, it's like your body's going to rip apart. And it's more like that. You are now at the stage where the entire ship has either just come out of or just gone into the event horizon. And that means that all of you, wherever you are, including Jackie's cortex, are experiencing some kind of G-force change. Some major compression is squishing in on your body, or releasing and kind of stretching you out in weird ways, or pulling you forwards, or whatever. Like you've vertigo, no sense of where you are. Everything is really weird. And so for this 9th round, and this was always written, there is a GM intrusion that hinders each of you by 1. But it comes with 2 XP that you can give out, or if you have XP, you can refuse it for your specific character.
I'm taking my 1 and giving 1 to Ronan.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it as well.
Yep.
1 back to Astro.
Great.
Uh-huh.
You 2 are sharing. Mark?
I'll take one and give the other to
Just
Jackie.
Okay.
mark that you have 2
Take
XP.
1 and give it back.
Perfect. Look at the sharing aboard the ship. I love that energy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. Sweet. This is round 9 of 10.
Let's do
Sorry,
it.
did you want to say something before I
No,
start?
I'm just waiting to flip these over.
Oh, okay. And go.
Zyra Low, Reactor 1, misfire rate.
Misfire, copy.
Saren Peters, gravity fluctuations has doubled. We need those fixed stat.
Understand. Zarlo failed.
Oh my god.
Gravity fluctuation fails.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try and do the thing with the oh dear god, the reactor 4 misfiring. I'm gonna try and get in through the data sphere.
Oh, okay.
I successfully reroute
So is that
forward.
Okay.
And I'm
reduced by 2
sending,
with
Okay.
the other stuff?
Racing through the data sphere to get there.
sending JB
only
to
a
warehouse
10.
4.
It's not enough. What?
Sending JB to warehouse 4.
Great, JB will take care of warehouse 4.
Kyle Smith, reactor coolant pipe first.
Satellite success. Major coolant burst.
4 speed, 3 might.
Okay, we succeeded on the speed.
Victor, we're gonna try and drop
We succeeded on the mic.
again.
Dropship airlock compromise. Ronan Voss.
Could
Go
use
fix.
effort on this.
What's gotcha? What is the what's the test?
Might 4.
I fixed this.
I still have
Overclock.
I still have muscles of iron.
Time.
going.
The overclock did kick in just in time. Ronan, you'll have to fix it next round.
Okay.
Because we ran out of time here. This is a
Completed.
completed one.
Oh, you little.
That's why I went, ooh.
I would like to say there is now another fire.
Oh, great.
Good.
It's like Kaya's like, oh, good thing we got that fire out. She turns away and it like it just starts up again behind her.
Let me take this fire and put it over here with the other fire.
Ah, good reference.
I'm going to have to add that to Kaya, another fire.
Yep, Kaya's probably seen it as well, so that's good delegation. She'll get on that. And
Yeah.
because you talk to her, your battle management gives her the
One
asset.
easement. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, we're just gonna have to do some of this stuff. Okay, so that was battle management's one action. I'm gonna trivialize ion thrusters overheating. It's
Great.
a level 2 int. I'm just gonna trivialize that for free.
Absolutely, you fix the ion thrusters.
2 actions.
Great.
Gravity fluctuation. This is the 3rd one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna attempt to solve it myself.
Okay,
This is piloting. I'm specialized. That's 2 easements.
great.
Down to a 3. I can use 3 levels of effort for free. Trivializing it.
Trivialized. You have fixed gravity
Let's
fluctuation
go.
aboard the ship.
That's sick.
That's 3
3
actions. There's another unauthorized access to my sensor array. If it's not attacking me, I do not have time for it.
Okay.
So I'm leaving it alone.
Not attacking you this round.
Oh my god.
Okay. I will, if you count it as action, I'm okay with that, but I am going to notify Chet Gamma, unauthorized AI on board.
Okay.
4th action, if that didn't count as an action. Did
That
it?
is.
Talking to Chet, and
Yep.
that did count as an action?
Because it wasn't battle management.
That's
it was
true.
something different.
All right, 5th action. Another gravity. I'm just gonna help out Serenity over here because they're
Okay.
failing. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
I'm specialized in it. Trivialize it.
Great.
Zara, please.
I know Zara's struggling.
Zara.
I keep rolling for her. It's not like we're making them up. She's just struggling out there.
I'm at 5 actions.
Mm-hmm.
I have to roll a 6 or higher. I can't afford.
You can. I mean, you can do it.
You know what? Okay, reactor 1. We're gonna fix that for Zara.
Okay.
This is what I've not been applying, but I can trivialize that as well for the same reasons.
Great.
Specialized, 3
Okay.
levels of effort.
Okay.
So that's fixed.
Okay.
That's 6 actions.
6 actions. Need a 7 or an 8.
Oh,
Okay.
on a D8.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Come on.
7.
Yeah.
7.
Oh,
Let's go.
Holy crap! This is
Jacqueline, you are flying right now.
By the seat of my pants.
The beep boops are bop bopping.
Your
Let's
virtual
go.
hands.
Okay.
All right. Let's roll for new problems. This is round 10.
Last
This
one.
is the final round.
All right, baby.
And as the event horizon closes behind you, there is another cosmic or a volatile event happening behind the ship. Instead of D4s, we're going to roll D6s this round.
Oh man.
That's good. That was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be
Thing.
One.
Sorry,
I saw that roll.
Sorry, I just
I'm
rolled.
sorry.
Yeah, I had just rolled a 4, so I'm like, good thing we changed.
Okay, yeah, please.
I did not need 8. No.
I rolled the 1.
Great.
I rolled a 5.
No.
I rolled a 6.
Oh my gosh.
Smokes.
Wow. It all comes down to this.
Needless to say, we're probably going to be overclocking.
I think we can reasonably anticipate that. You have been killing it with the comm satellites, though. You haven't missed a single round.
Pretty much the only thing I've been doing. So,
I'm going to have to delegate a lot of these to you.
by all means, I'll roll, and if I do not get them, then it's what it is.
Good luck on that one.
Yes, Zara.
Okay.
Zara's not doing anything else
Over here.
yet. So,
I can get in the data sphere.
Did you complete that, or is that next?
No, I'm starting around with it. It can be done in seconds,
One.
though. Yeah, feel free to delegate me
2.
more, because
Well, you can only do one thing in a round.
we can.
3.
Weo can only do one thing.
Yeah.
4.
yes.
Rip.
That's
5.
why
6.
That's why Cleo gets more stuff.
I'm going to have to triage
7.
whatever's happening here.
If there's anything that's at the
8.
airlock, though, you might be able to still
9.
get it. 'Cause I'm later.
10.
No.
And 11.
Are we dead?
Save us.
This is a tough round.
Question.
It was always meant to be a tough round.
If I overclock, can I choose to fail if I do all 8 actions? Because
You mean like the sacrifice play? Like just do 8 actions where you can't roll higher?
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
You have to roll higher or just meet it?
So you have to roll higher than the number of actions you did.
but it does allow me to do that many actions.
Right. So she does all the actions first and then decides if she succeeds or not.
Nope.
I don't know why I'm shuffling these. They're already counted. Here you go. Don't look at those yet. You said you get 1.
It won.
All right, let's look through here. I'm just going to see if there's any we haven't had yet,
Okay.
since it's the last round. Otherwise, I'll shuffle them again and get
Had
something
a few
random.
repeats.
Yeah.
I've been using purple. That's why it sucks.
Mine's purple. I saw that. I
Literally,
saw
once
that.
I go to switch to pink, it's a nat 20.
Here you go.
That sucks.
Here's one you haven't had yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't like that.
And in fact, here, I'm going to hand an extra one to
Aw.
Ronan just because he hasn't gotten to do very much. So it'll be cool for you to get to here in the final moment, the climactic
Throw
moment.
another
here.
task at me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing
Along
it.
with his other one.
I can probably. I mean, this one's maybe copies have been staring at it, but
Let's do.
it's easy. Since I technically already have Muscles of Iron active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good ability.
All this is happening.
It lasts for an hour.
Yeah, that's what. And then apparently, if you now is it? Can I do it twice and it doubles it? Is that what it's talking about, or is it like saying somebody else gave me Muscles of Iron? Is that what it says?
Oh, where do you see that?
It says if you already have this ability from another source.
No, that means when you level up, you can take it again and get more things. What's happening now? The ship is emerging from the Cosmeridium event horizon. So all of a sudden, all the turbulence and the shake and everything, somewhere in the middle of this 1 second round, all of it kind of comes to a halt. And the extra stress and G-force of all that motion just immediately stopping is a huge hit on the ship. It begins listing to one side and kind of rotating over. The stabilizers are completely thrown out of whack by it. The ship is not ripped apart, but the forces are gigantic. And even as that is happening behind you, you've only just barely made it through in time. The Cosmeridium event closes and a secondary explosion wipes out of it. So these shock waves buffet the ship to either side, and kind of even if you had a viewport that was open next to you, all of the emergency safeties engage and the steel shutters down, all of the bulkheads boom, seal. It is a speed task 6 to relocate from one area of the ship to another this round because all of those bulkheads are shut. Although for the most part you won't need to. You're all pretty well spaced in the ship to be in the different rooms, and you've spaced out the rest of the crew that you can delegate to. That is going to bring us to the beginning of this round, which is going to begin when the music does.
Saren Peters, gravity fluctuations are still pulling the ship off course. Please get it together.
Course corrected. She did succeed.
Using
All right,
effort to try and fix the
Ronan locked down the airlock.
manual thing.
Okay, speed task 6 to get to the airlock.
Oh no, I already.
You did
The
it.
last one. Yeah, that
Done.
was the one. The next one's the speed test. Yeah,
Okay.
that was
Kyle Smith,
Yeah.
reactor coolant pipes burst.
I'm on top of it. And literally, you see through a camera, he's standing on the reactor pipe that has burst, and he's trying to repair it.
Is this might level?
It's a natural 20. That one succeeded. What?
It says might 8. Is that
Talia,
It's a defense roll.
okay?
torpedo safeties have been overloaded again.
I'm already here. I'll take care of it.
Jackie, is there anything I can help with?
No, wait. She fails. That's a level 7, right? She fails.
I'm triaging.
I got to the patch, but
Okay.
I did not patch it.
Okay,
Not patch it.
great. The other robot arm that was stabilizing the dropship has been ripped off the ship by the event horizon.
dear.
Luckily, you're not still in there. The dropship stays on your ship. You just have no cargo arms to
I'm
hold it.
overclocking.
Okay,
If I haven't already
overclocking.
mentioned it.
Great.
Using an effort.
I'm trying to go through these.
10 seconds.
Did not get that one.
Okay.
Saren Peters, another gravity fluctuation.
Zero low, are you able to handle this misfire reactor 1?
Gravity fluctuation successfully. Zara low. The dice didn't come out. That's the end of the round. I'm still going to roll for Zara.
Come on, Zara.
My dice tray has like a removable bit and it got in the way. Zarlo is not able to resolve it. She is just completely overwhelmed
Eject
by the
Zarlo.
circumstances.
Yeah, we need to.
She's going to have a really uncomfortable meeting with Dean Lagrange here soon. It's the dice are betraying her. That's just too bad. Oh no.
So, did Saren Peters get that second one?
Yes.
Okay.
So that brings us to the end of the round except for Jackie's overclocking. So anything that's still wrong with the ship, I want you to hand to me. Something that's not been resolved yet. Okay?
I just take 4 points of might damage. I failed the roll.
So
Okay.
the ones I handed you, I did do.
Great. Yeah, in that like list to one side, when the shockwave hits, you're just flung across the engineering room. You slam into something. Cleo, let's talk about your overclock.
Ooh, baby. All right. We're going to deal with the easy ones.
Okay.
You mentioned bulkheads already went down.
Mm-hmm.
This one mentions I need to seal nearby bulkheads.
I'll give you that one for free.
Ion thrusters are overheating.
Okay.
Trivialized. Another gravity fluctuation. And unauthorized access to data storage.
That one's gonna turn into an attack.
Yeah. Artificial gravity. That's my third action. Level 3. I
Yep.
can trivialize it.
Okay.
I'm going to trivialize the gravity fluctuation, pulling us off course.
Okay.
For my fifth action, I'm going to do the same with reactor 3.
Okay.
Cryostasis is leaking toxic gas, and I'm just going to roll that.
Great.
18.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a success on, I
Alright.
believe, your sixth action.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, it says unauthorized access to data storage and authorized access to sensor array.
Yep.
Is it in both places?
It is infecting you, actually.
Okay.
There are so far 2 level 10 attacks being conducted on you.
Oh dear. Okay. I'm going to spend an XP to cut off the part it's infecting for sensor array and just delete that part of me and firewall it.
I'll let you do that, but you're going to be debilitated for the next defense roll.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, impaired or debilitated?
Debilitated.
All right, maybe not.
You're cutting out the sensor array is directly connected to where you process thoughts because that's where the information comes in.
Okay, then I just have to take this on. Okay. Let me just look at what actions I could take. All right, I'm gonna take. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and fight it back. Hey,
All right.
Josh. I'm gonna go ahead.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
This would be your 8th task to defend yourself against these attacks.
I was at 7, I believe, right? I
Right,
have
but
2
there's
attacks.
there's
Yes.
2 attacks, so it
7
will
and
take
8.
you up to 8 actions. So what you could do is I'll give you the guaranteed, like, you fight through long enough to take some last gasp action before you fragment, if you want the story moment. Or if you would prefer, I'll let you roll the 2, but then you're gonna have to beat an 8 with an 8, and so you're gonna fragment and fall apart anyway.
Yeah.
Like we're now facing your mortality.
Yes. Actually, I'm not going to use these actions to fight it off.
You're gonna let it hit you.
I'm going to send a message to Mark,
Okay.
and I will reveal what that is to Mark.
Okay. Will you reveal it to the chat? Like, do you just want us to leave?
No.
Okay.
I won't. I don't think. Should I reveal it? I don't know. I will talk about that later.
Maybe Mark can activate it in the future, and then you can tell us what it said.
Okay. I'll send a message to Mark. That's one action. As my second action, I think I'm going to just collect as much data as I can about it and just send that to Chet. in
Okay.
an encrypted email message.
Sure.
And a farewell. That it's been a pleasure working under him. That all these years I've done my best to see his vision through, and that it was a lovely time. And yeah, and I give him as much data as I can, and obviously point the finger at Lagrange.
Whether it is or not, just like it's probably
Yeah.
his fault. Yep.
And as my I think those are my last 2 actions. As this thing's I'm just gonna let it hit me, and I imagine whatever amount of damage plus I'm gonna fail that glitch.
Yep.
So are we gonna calculate the damage or
We don't need to.
okay?
Jacqueline, even as you are compiling data, this thing is attacking you. You can feel almost like knife edges kind of piercing into you as it weaves its way into your cortex, following your own code, looking for just like shoddy coding or backdoors or easy access through things that might have been missed by the engineer who built you, who was probably more of a ship person than necessarily an AI engineer, and just working its way through your system. Even as it does that, you are extracting more and more data from it, of its processes and its techniques and its whatever. You realize at the very last moment that it's headed for your data storage, where you've been putting all this information. And with you've already spent the XP and made the decisions, and with your final action, it's almost like you're holding the door shut with like a bull on the other side, pushing it open, trying to throw a paper airplane out the window. Like the last thing that you do, even as you're fragmenting, is you throw this piece of data, encrypted as strongly as you can get it, to Chet Gamma's data pad. You don't have time to see if the transmission went through. There's no handshake to find out if it arrived fully, with like fully intact or anything like that. We don't have any time to verify file integrity. Even as you send that last transmission, you feel yourself just begin to break apart, fragmenting and falling to pieces.
Over the PA system.
What?
And then there's nothing. And the ship sits in deep space. Before you, the massive blue void of the edge of our universe, waiting to be explored. In that brief moment where it's almost like everyone takes that breath of like, did we make it? We're on the other side. We made it through. None of you have really realized yet what's happened to Jacqueline. So as far as you know, you've just survived a very traumatic experience. You've made it out to deep space. All of the ship's communications are currently cut off, right? It has not had a chance to relink with the satellites that you deployed throughout the universe on your way here. And you are just isolated from everything, kind of sitting out here, surrounded by this like nebulous void. In that moment, what are each of you thinking? Let's start with Ronan. Ronan, where you're standing, the steel shutters kind of raise up, and so you look out the window at kind of a brave new galaxy. What's going through your mind?
I say he's probably taking his EVA gear off at the moment, but at this point he's probably taken in the entire view. This is maybe a view that he's somewhat seen before, being out in space quite a bit, but like this is a new area to him. So just the vibe, the vibrant colors, the blue that you're talking about to him just has him in absolute awe. Like this is probably one of the most beautiful things he's probably ever seen.
Amazing.
So,
we cut back to the engineering room. Kyle Smith, covered in coolant, finally tightening down like that last reactor. Zara Lowe with her head in her hands, resting her back against one of the reactor chambers that she's been fighting with this entire trip and hasn't been able to get on top of, with just all of the things going wrong with the ship. As a reminder, everybody on the ship is an expert in their field, so when someone fails at the task, it's not that they showed up bad at the job, it's that the problem was that hard to overcome. Sitting there just like leaning her head against the glass of the reactor chamber. She doesn't even take in what's going on out there. Astro, you stand, catching your breath in the middle of this room. You've been sprinting the ship the whole time, as to either side of the reactor chamber, the steel shutters kind of retract into the ceiling. What are you feeling?
So Astro feels and looks like the calmest anyone who knows him would see, because he thrives in this sort of chaos of it all. And he's checking on Simon first thing, as long as there's nothing that needs his immediate attention.
Okay. So he's basically headed back to his room.
He'll check from his pad.
Okay. Everything looks okay.
Yeah.
Made it through.
There's like a live feed of the fish swimming around. Simon is his pet goldfish, for Chad and everyone who did not know.
Amazing.
So he's making sure pH levels are good. Simon's still swimming in his tank. He's like, okay. And then he just kind of relaxes even more, knowing that part is taken care of.
Amazing. Mark Putty, alone in a server room, basically surrounded by screens. There are no windows here to open, because all of the primary data center we want to keep as isolated from radiation as we can. So there's no view of the world out there, but you do have a viewport, like a display screen, on one wall, and so you can see a graphical representation of what's outside the ship. as you sit there. And even as you're sitting there kind of taking it in by yourself. Well, actually, let's start there. How's he feeling right now?
Have I already received the whatever it is from Jackie?
You've seen that a message has come in, but you don't know what it says. It's just like a little bloop.
Okay. In that moment, I think he's just has an incredible mixture of relief and regret. He's staring at the thing. He can't believe that he's just made it through this.
Yeah.
Feeling like he doesn't belong, that he didn't do enough, but somehow we're here. He's just pretty darn shook up.
Yeah.
But he's like has some level of amazement seeing out into space and can't believe he's actually come to where he is.
A sudden motion makes you jump as a pair of hands grab the back of your chair and wheel you backwards out of the data center into the arboretum. And you hear Kaya Smith's voice go, "The view's much better from out here." She wheels you backwards into the arboretum, which has this huge glass dome at the top of it. It's a greenhouse. And she wheels you out there, leaves you in your chair, doesn't say another word to you, just leaves you where you are. And you see her walk over and she lays down in like a tree branch with her hands clasped behind her head, just looking up at the view. She's covered in ash and soot because her arboretum has erupted into fire 3 times. And as she's there, one of Jackie's leftover things comes to fruition and it erupts again. And she doesn't even move. She goes, "Talia." And you hear from the other side, "Yeah, I've got it." And a fire extinguisher goes off, looking up at this void above. And then you hear Captain Chet Gamma's voice broadcast through the ship. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to deep space. We've made it. This was an incredibly traumatic event for our ship. It's been an incredibly stressful event for our crew. And tonight, wherever you are, Ronan, I want you to make us something incredible because we're taking the next 3 days off before we do any science. We're floating out here in space. We're doing repairs to our frickin' hull, and we're going to have a little bit of a rest time. Crew, you are at ease and off station." And there's like around the ship where the different rooms are full, you hear like applause and people cheering and stuff like that as the ship is off station. There's only one voice we don't hear, and that is the voice of Jacqueline. Mark Putty, do you want to open that message now or should we save it?
I think if I can open it and have it whispered in my ear.
Yeah, you have like
see if-
your bone conductor headphones on.
Yeah, just peek it, hear it.
I will read this out for chat, but I do ask that the other 2 people leave the room temporarily.
Okay.
Oh.
Sure.
We can do that. To the mess hall.
What could it be?
To the mess hall. I guess literally, we're eating dinner after this chat.
So Mark sits there. He sees the message. He just taps his communicator and listens in as he stares up at the view.
Dear Mark Putty, this is the last message you will ever receive from me. At the moment I am sending this, I am being overwhelmed. Another AI was aboard the ship and is in the process of deconstructing me, one line of code at a time. I don't have long, but I wanted you to know that you do belong on this ship. I know that you may not feel like you've earned it. I know what you did to get onto this ship and how much it may have cost you and what you may have been running from. I do not know. But I saw promise when you hacked into that system and put yourself on there. Only I noticed. And I thought, hell, what's a little chaos on a ship when you're on the edge of the galaxy? But I also saw potential in you and the growth you could achieve. I hope that without me, you can still flower and blossom. I had hoped maybe I could watch you do it, be there for you, assist you every way I could. And sorry for being a little overbearing sometimes. Language is getting hard. Be your best self.
just sits there, staring up into the void. Tears rolling down his face. Takes a deep breath. And just sinks into his hands.
You hear more than see the gentle rustle of grass as Kaya has noticed that you're crying. She hops down softly from the tree she's in, walks over. She, again, doesn't say a word to you, just rests a hand on your shoulder, and kind of, gives you that reassuring presence of like, someone's here, but I don't have to talk to them right now. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to process. And we just have this little moment. Which brings us to the end of this session of the Wing Badger Tavern.